What's up, guys? So I have a video for you guys today on, it's a crypto one, but it's going to be an OPSEC video. So OPSEC's like operational security. It's your security when you get around and when you move around and when you do things. And specifically, if you're a cryptocurrency investor, I saw one, there was a lady, it looked like she was Chinese or from Hong Kong or an area like that. And it looked like someone tried to kidnap her and her kid in the UK. See, the euro is not safe for this sort of stuff. Like the euro is not safe for crypto investors. And the euro itself is going to get more risky because also firearms aren't legal here, so to speak. So that you can bet the criminals or people that are against you are likely to have firearms, but you yourself probably don't have one. And that's the issue itself as well. Is that if you're in crypto, you have to be careful because crypto itself now, I mean, Bitcoin's 100K. If you're a Bitcoin investor, you're a crypto investor, and people know that you are, the chances of you owning one Bitcoin in their mind is quite high. And when it gets to a certain point, when it's 2K, when it's 5K, when it's 10K, when it's 20K, it's not as exciting as now it's 100K. And eventually when we have our cycle top, and let's say that, a few years from now, even like, late 2028 or 2029, Bitcoin's 500K, 600K, 800K. I have pretty high targets. I discussed these in SRB Crypto. Now it's very interesting. And the caliber of a person that will rob you or try to rob you when like imagine someone trying to rob a petrol station and they know that they'll get like $300 or $500. It's a completely different caliber of person that will rob like a Brinks truck, like rob a safety truck, rob like cash guard or cash in transit officers. Someone that will rob people for millions of dollars is going to be much different sort of person and skill set than someone that will just rob someone for a small amount of money. And what these people have realized is that people in crypto, a lot of them are soft targets. A lot of them are soft targets because they don't really want, some of them, they're crypto disgust. Like they don't really want to report that they had a lot of crypto or they have, or that they might have had certain things. They might not have paid exactly as much taxes, or they're just worried. Some people don't want to, if they get robbed, it really scares them. So they don't really want to report it. A lot of the stuff will be going unreported at the moment. And it's going to be more of a thing that have-nots and have-yots in the future. You need to get your OPSEC under control. The biggest OPSEC risk for you is going to be women in your house. That's real. That's a real thing. How many people that I've known or heard of that they invited a girl around, maybe she was a good girl, maybe that they'd had her for a while, and then suddenly they wake up in the night and there's like 3 or 4 dudes in the house, 3 or 4 guys at the end of his bed, and the girl has got up and then opened the front door or let the security off or turned the security alarm off or put the dog in the garage and then let people in. Like that happens. Like women do that. You have to be careful having people in your house that are kind of unvetted. It's very similar to, it's not just crypto. If you have nice watches, if you're known to have nice jewelry, if you're known to have nice things, might have a nice car, maybe you have a Lamborghini like me, maybe you have expensive jewelry like me, like you have nice things, people think that entitles them to try and take them. And that's what's going to become more of a thing into the future because they know that crypto is liquid. So what happens is if they rob a person, they can just leave the country. And people think that, oh, someone won't rob me if there's cameras and there's all of these things and all of that. A lot of the people that will rob you, specifically in the euro, they don't care about cameras. Like they don't really give a shit about that because they know that it can happen at midnight. They can send your crypto out and they can be on a flight at 12:30 or 1 at 1 a.m. gone. And then by the time it really gets out or photos get out or any of that shit, they're long gone. They don't even have to fly out of the specific part of the euro. They can go out in boats and things like that, depending on how sophisticated they are. There's many ways out of the euro. The euro borders are very sloppy. That's a problem. So it's a have-not, have-yacht world. And what's going to happen into, nearing 2030, crypto guys are going to be target number one. You don't know that yet, but crypto guys and people who made it in the tech sector are going to be public enemy number one. See, there's going to be tax loopholes and things like that initially that make it easier for you to actually profit. But then they're going to paint you guys as scapegoats that have done nothing and he just sat on crypto and he didn't do anything. He hasn't paid anything. He's lucky. He's this, all of these things. And then the people who don't have any money, they fall into such schemes as letting the government or like random people seize your shit. And what happens is there's a lot of wars around the euro and what can happen, military, I was in the military myself, guys can be good guys, but they can get disgruntled from the military and they can be very well trained and very skilled and very honorable and all of these things. And then they see like some foreigner in their country that got rich from crypto and they have a very specifically high level skill set. And now they can think, I don't have shit for me. Maybe my country fucked me over in some way. I might just go and take this guy's shit. And they can do it at a very high level, like much more high level than some boob head like drug addict. So that's the thing that you have to be careful about. You don't want to spend time if you're in crypto or you really have anything that's worth, you don't want people in your house. You really don't. You don't want to be around like if we're in a future now, you don't want to be around people that can be corrupted in that sort of a sense. If you're a guy, you don't want to be around drug taking women. You don't want to be around because you don't know who she knows. Like if people that take drugs, they're very susceptible to outside interference. Police can see them and then get them to do something against you, plant something in your house. Criminals or other people can see them. They know that they're a weak target. They have a drug dealer. They have a bad habit. So it's pretty obvious that they're very easily to like roll over and fuck you over in some way. They can plant something in your house. They can let people into your house. They can screw you over in some way. They can neutralize your dog or all of these things that you might have weapons in the house and the girl can move them so that you can't actually defend yourself. Lots of things happen. It happens in the US, happens here in the Euro. All of these things can happen and I wouldn't want to see it happen to you guys because I know you guys like worked hard and you've done well and you've invested well. I wouldn't want to see some parasite take your shit. That's true. That's the nature of the game. That's it. I don't like civilians should be out of like harm's way, but it's not like that. Specifically in the world where there's a lot of like guys that will be disgruntled, and in the future, it's going to get worse like that. Like the eat the rich concept is not going to happen, and they eat the elites. The eat the rich is real. Like they will eat. People will eat the rich, but they won't eat the elites. They'll eat the people richer than them. That's it. If you make it out of the middle class or lower middle class in crypto, you're going to be public enemy number one. Countries like Dubai and things like that are going to continue to expand because they are safe. Dubai is very safe. It's a safe spot and it's reliable. You can put like, I don't know, not all the time, but you leave your phone in a taxi, it's coming back like nine or most times. You leave a watch in the taxi, it's coming back most times. You can leave your keys in your car, it's very unlikely someone's going to steal it or joyride it, all of the shit, because they have very consistent policing. They don't tolerate a lot of bullshit because they don't want it to get out of hand. There's a lot of people with a lot of money there, but also a lot of people that are like quite a fair few that are very important. They don't want people to start messing with locals or like screwing up the safety or all of these things. So they monitor the place very carefully. There's a lot of surveillance there. Like you can't fuck around in Dubai, and you shouldn't go there to fuck around. It's not the spot. But and that's a good thing. So I would expect that Dubai will, and Saudi probably as well, they'll get a lot of the tech people there. Like a lot of the tech people of the world, they'll realize safety is a problem and they'll migrate there over time. And that's going to be a big thing. I mean, they've already had waves of it since COVID, but I would assume that it's going to get more and more over time because it's a safe spot. It's consistent, it's reliable, it's safe. It's like they have like legislation in place for crypto. It's becoming more and more easy to understand. The tax system's easy to understand. The banking's easier to understand. You don't have like a lot of the banks in the euro can be like, yeah, it's fine. You can use crypto. And then suddenly they ban every bank account that you have and don't tell you why. We don't have to tell you because it's just a breach of terms of services. And then they'll like hint that you use crypto and they don't like it, even though they say they don't care. So all of that stuff is like inconsistent for banking and things that Saudi or Dubai, they don't have that. They're becoming just more tolerant and more like open about the rules, which is good. And the thing with Dubai that's very good is the zero tolerance. They're very clear. Like if you go to Dubai, everyone knows that you can't do drugs in Dubai. Like you shouldn't want to. You shouldn't think that you can even do like CBD or any of that stuff or like weed. And they take that very serious. Like if someone gets done with like a stick of weed, they have a big problem in that country. Like it's a really big problem. People can go to prison for that. They take it very serious. But it's like that going in that's the rules and people can generally stick to it. So it's a good spot for those sort of an idea, and that's why I would think that it will expand into the future compared to places like Euro that are gonna like the Eurozone and things like that. They're going to have to set some system up that's like an exit tax or a wealth tax or all of these other things because people will leave more at scale. All that's happening here is it's going to be uh, like a shit muncher place, I would assume. Not to say that it's going to happen in a week or a month or a year, but if they don't change course of direction, it's going to be like, if you have money or you're rich or you've got like, a business that works online or all of these things, like why would you live in a country that's not safe? Like a zone. The Eurozone is not that safe. Like if you're running around England, you're running around London, you're running around like Paris, you're running around, I know some parts of Germany, they're not safe. Like they're not safe. They're not safe for women to be walking around alone. They're not safe for guys really at night. Like if you're walking around alone, you don't know, you might get into some problem. And the problems of the violent crimes is like that stupid crime. It's like pointless. It's like it just targets civilians. And it's that pointless crime where they rob a person and steal something off them, but then the guy gets beaten up by like 3 or 4 guys as well. And it was for like no reason. And they just stole some like watch, and his watch was just pretty crappy. Like it was, they just wanted his phone or some crap. It's this stuff that really affects like the average citizen. That's the worst kind of crime. See, the thing is with the mafias and organized crime, they were the enemy of the era because they wanted to run all of that themselves. And now is it much better? Like the police, they undermanned. Like the police are good and they're trying and doing things, but they don't have enough of them. They have a lot of like their hands are tied and all of these things as well. So they don't have enough people to do it. And the thing with police, they're only there after the crime is finished. Like, does it really matter if the person gets caught if you get really fucked up? Does it really matter if they catch the guy if you lose all of your crypto? Because it's not coming back. As soon as it's gone, you're not getting it back. So those sort of ideas like prevention and OPSEC, and best OPSEC is always crime prevention. Prevention is done much before anything can ever possibly happen. It's who you let in your house, what security do you have, what weapons do you have, what training do you have. Training is a big one. Do you keep your mouth shut? Do people know your movements? Do people know essentially where you have stuff or where to hurt you or where to do things? Are your family safe? Like, do you keep your family in a safe area? Because these are all of these things that people don't know about with crypto and things like that today. But in like 3 or 4 years, when the bull market, we have a good top, and then people, it's everywhere, and people are like, oh, I knew this guy that used to be in Bitcoin, and now Bitcoin's like $500,000 a coin. Then do you really think that there's not going to be more problems? And the issues, the problems, they're not going to be just boob heads running around doing little dumb crime. It'll actually be more sophisticated people coming for people that have shit, because it's like it's worth it. It's it when it hits a certain price point, it becomes worth actually serious people to do it. I'm not talking about gangsters even. I'm talking about more people that are actually like very farly trained in that sort of area. So that's the thing that I'm saying. You know, I would not hope that guys don't lose their stuff and they understand OPSEC's a serious thing. And if they have family in the house or they have people around or kids or all this stuff, it can be very traumatizing for a lot of people in that sort of regard. So that's the thing. Like you should have firearms training, safety. Keep very cautious who's in your house. Be cautious if you have stuff in the house that you shouldn't have in the house. Be cautious of where you put things and, you know, safety in general. And that's the thing. Be cautious who you tell your movements to. Who knows what you're up to or who knows what you're doing and all of these things. Be cautious. Yeah, many things, right? Like all of that sort of stuff is things that you have to consider and you have to be careful of. So it's a different crypto video today, but it's a real, that's a real thing. I mean, they had the guy from Ledger, right? He had his fingers cut off or something like that fairly recently. Those things happen. You know, I mean, he's known to be part of a company that is a massive crypto company. I mean, Sony's not, but Ledger is. So they would assume that he has a lot of crypto. And that's, yeah, that's all just a showing of the crime is. And when people come to get your ledger or come to get your codes or all of these things, it's going to be violent because they know that they're not just walking in and stealing your watch, although people might have watches and they're also can be at risk because they're easily taken and left, like they're very liquid. OPSEC's a big thing, you know, having dogs a big thing, having good security, having a good team of guys, having careful who's vetting women. Do you have people around you that your friends aren't vetting the women that they're with? Are they with shitbags? Are you having parties at your house where you don't know who's in the house? Are you having parties where someone could invite someone or let them in and you might get fucked over in some way? You know, are you around people that have zero integrity? People who would sell you out for like $1,000? Those ideas and things you have to be cautious of. And private security is going to be a massive thing into the future. You know, private security will be a big thing. But if you're an amateur, private security itself can stand over you or rob you or do all of these things because they're still in your house. If you're a soft target, security can decide to fuck you over. That things happen. So those are, yeah, it's a very different video today, but I think it's necessary. It's something to think about, you know, man traps and ways to slow people down if they were to come in the house. Things like that, they're real. Cameras do deter some people. But those are the things, it's just a filter. Like if you have all of this stuff up, the only people that are going to come are serious people. So you should know that. Like the only people who are going to come if you've got cameras, man traps, all of these things, and they know about it, are going to be serious people. So you should expect that you're going to have to deal with serious people seriously. That's a real thing. And that's it. Like it's like the way of the world. Like you go to South Africa, you go to places like that, you have to defend your shit. That's why I've been telling you guys for many years that you don't own anything that you can't defend. You don't own anything if you can't defend it from the government. Even you don't own shit in this life if you can't defend it from the government. We're entering a period of you see what's happening in South Africa. That's what period that we're entering in a few years or 4 or 5 years time. Maybe it's a little bit longer. Maybe it runs out to like 10 years. But that's it. We're entering a period of separation of the elites and the plebs and the middle class in that way. You've climbed to a point of the ladder. Maybe you're in the middle of the ladder, and maybe the plebs are at the very bottom and the elites are at the very top. And we're entering a period where they'll break the middle of the ladder. So you have to either climb higher to the point where you're safe and they can't break your period of the ladder. That means that you have to continually climb higher over the next 10 years. We're in an industrial revolution of crypto, AI, and tech. You will be able to make massive gains if you're smart. I told you that the AI sector in crypto is going to 500 billion or a trillion. It will be one of the only, or the only way that the normies can actually enter the AI. Going to be like the .com was, and people won't be able to invest in the traditional markets because people won't want to invest in OpenAI at 500 billion. They know that they're exit liquidity. A lot of people can't get into the AI deal, so they'll speculate through crypto. They don't know what AI is, and they know most AI startups are pointless and crypto companies are pointless. But they still want exposure, just like they wanted during .com. They don't know what they're investing in, and they'll get bundled a product, and it will happen. That's it. That's a real thing. I'm building an AI company currently, and so I've got a patent out for specific BCI unit, and that's going to be a massive thing. And in my AI company, I'll become over $100 million company. So I'm doing all of the work and doing all of the things to essentially set up to make money in that field and essentially stay relevant in that field. But for you guys, you have to protect what you have and realize that you're in a period where the world is changing again. We're in an industrial super cycle, yes, revolution, but super cycle as well. But crypto, when it's 500K a Bitcoin, and people will be like, it'll never happen, it'll never happen. I've been hearing that since Bitcoin was 2000. But when it happens, then people will be coming for people that have crypto. Like that, it makes sense to do it. A lot of you will get messages and texts from girls that are like, that you broke up with or that you weren't together with, all of these things, texting you, wanting to hang out and be back together and all of this shit because she knows that you've made it and all of these things happen. Funny world that does happen. I've had it before. I mean, I remember I invested in crypto when Bitcoin was like, I remember I had an ex and I was in the army. So I've told this story, I think, a couple of times. And then I got out from field one day. I was out field for like 2 months. It was exercise Hamel. It was in Townsville. And then I got out from field. My ex I remember I went to call her. She didn't answer her phone. I thought, oh, maybe she's asleep because it was like 9 o'clock at night. And then I got the duty officer, took me back to my like apartment or place that I was staying. It wasn't that nice. This is in Townsville. And then I walk in the door and the house is cleaned out. Like I didn't have anything left. I had, oh no, a mattress on the floor. That's right. And then I didn't have any bedding there. I didn't have a charger for my phone. So my phone went flat. It was on like 10%. And then I realized that she'd taken all my shit. And it is what it is. I mean, I was cheating on her. So life is a mirror essentially. And that's shit happens. But then after we sort of broke up, all of these things happened. She talked to my warrant officer. My warrant officer caught a bunch of problems for me, and she was a legal assistant, but like trying to fuck me over in like little shitty ways. And this is when I had no power. I didn't really realize much. I was in the army. I was gambling tons. But then I remember I was investing in Bitcoin not long after that, like a few years after that. I met a guy. He's a billionaire now, and he introduced me to Bitcoin. He introduced me to He's a very famous billionaire from Australia. He introduced me to Bitcoin. And then, yeah, I remember that I started to invest in it, and people thought that I was nuts. Everyone thought that those Bitcoins, like people would say that I was a fucking loser investing in Bitcoin and I'm never going to make it. Like, why am I spending my money on this digital crap? It's going to be worthless. I remember she's like, sent me a message at her dad, who was like, I don't know, kind of owned a business, and she used to talk about him as though he was like some, I don't know, holy figure because he had a business and, maybe you can work for him one day, you can do all of these things. He said Bitcoin's dumb, it's pointless, it's a Ponzi scheme. Like, why are you so stupid? You're going to lose all of your money. You don't have any money. You're always going to be broke. Like, why are you buying Bitcoin? It's crap. And then I remember after, so Bitcoin itself, like, I was in prison and then I got out and Bitcoin was like, I don't know, 5K, something like that. And then it went to 20K. And I remember just realizing, like, and over since then, I've realized just how exactly right that I was. Like, I was right the whole way through. I never, but to be right on Bitcoin, I had to be wrong on so many different things. Like I've been wrong on so many things in my life, but 100% wrong because I've always committed 100% into things that I invested. I used to think that I could be a poker professional. I thought that I could be a blackjack professional. I thought all of these things, but I was shit at all of those. I mean, I can play the game, but I'm nothing special. I mostly lose. And then I would get a gambling addiction from which is the irony, even though when I used to play party poker when I was young, I never used to make any money. And then, or I would make it and then fuck it up straight up. And then I realized with Bitcoin, though, that always the conviction, like that's why I realized Bitcoin is in itself special. And I have a Bitcoin tattoo here. And I got that many, like, I don't know, 7 years ago or something. But I realized that it's special and I'm always going to be grateful for Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin saved my life, so to speak, because when I got out of prison, I had something to focus on because I was on parole. If I didn't have the Bitcoin itself to focus on and crypto and things like that, I think that I probably would have been back in prison because I had a really hard thing I had to leave my friends behind. I had a lot of friends in prison and I had a lot of friends around me that were still criminals and still doing things and, certain figures. And they're not bad people. But I realized that if you're around them, you go back to prison. That's true. If you can't have one foot in two lives, you can't have one foot in old life and another foot in your new life, or you will fuck your new life up. You're not ready to step into that. You have to kill your old life. You have to kill your old self to become who you want to be. See, people don't understand faith. Faith is not a sure thing. Faith is not, most people, faith is leaving a good thing. Like, so I had a good thing selling drugs. I used to make a lot of money and things like that. Faith, and used to get unlimited girls, I had all of these things. But I dropped all of that to focus on crypto 100% of my time. I used to sit there for 16 hours, sometimes 18, 20 or 22, 24 hours. I would stay awake. I couldn't sleep. Like I couldn't focus on anything else other than crypto. I was absolutely obsessed. I used to have moments where I would think that I was psychotic. I was so focused on it. And then I started a fund and we did very well. And I started making really big money in crypto. And I was like, this is where I need to go all in. But I only made it because I trusted Bitcoin. Like I trusted the network. I trusted crypto itself. I went all in. I threw away the person that I was, even though the person that I was not perfect and had a lot of issues, yes, but I still had a pretty good life from that. I was willing to suffer and be a fucking risk losing everything. Because at least if I was doing pharmacology stuff, I still had an income. Crypto, I didn't really know that faith is like, in your heart something that your brain doubts. Like your brain tells you that you're fucking wrong. Like it can't possibly work. Like this is like a silly dream. Like why would you go all in on something that could fail? Stick to what works. Like why would you break up with this chick? Like she's not perfect, yeah, but she's pretty good. Like maybe you'll be alone forever. But in your heart of hearts that maybe there's something better for you. And then you actually cut the cord and then you suffer for like a month or two where you're like, fuck, after I quit selling drugs, I didn't have girls. Like the girls that I knew stopped talking to me because I'm not a drug dealer anymore. I don't have like contacts for that stuff. I'm trying to stay away from them. And then I lost the girls that I had. I wasn't going out. I wasn't that guy anymore. I had status in the area as that guy. And then I lost it all. People would say that I'm turned into a crypto nerd and all this stuff, which is fine. See, nerds get a bad rap. Nerds, you need a nerd in your life. Like you need one around you because a lot of them know how to make good money and they're quite rational. But yeah, I lost many things to make that sort of a pivot. But I lent completely into Bitcoin and completely into crypto, and it changed my life. See, I was always in that regard ready to suffer. And for a month or two, I thought that I made the wrong decision. I was like, I've fucked up. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because I had a friend of mine, and he asked me, I was at a prison. He asked me for money. I don't know, maybe like 30,000 or so, and then I think a bit more. And then he said he had a problem and he had issues and all this stuff. I gave it to him and then he fucked off. Like he didn't pay me back anything. And then, but that thing only reinforced my belief that I needed to let that stuff go. I don't know. I've lost track of the amount of people in my life that have done that. Like I've lost track. I don't know. I think that people have probably done like $1 million or more from me from like favors or shit that has never come back to me in any way. But that's the nature of life. Like that's $1 million of lessons, probably more. But that's the nature of life. Like the pain comes first, and you learn after. Sometimes you have to learn. You have to touch the stove 20 times before you realize that it's hot. But yeah, that's the story. Like that's when I learned what faith was. Faith is taking a leap of faith, right? Like you're leaping and you don't trust the wings, but you have to because you've already jumped out the window, and then they suddenly arrive. That's when I realized, like, that's when I started to think that there was much more than I realized. Like God itself might be real in some way, because I realized that I had help along the way in that sort of regard. As soon as my subconscious universe, God, whatever it is, saw that I was serious, I started to get assistance. Like shit started to click, but I also had to burn down the shit first. I couldn't live in both lives, just the same story. I couldn't live in the old me and the new me. I had to kill the old me to step into the shoes of being the new me. And I've had a thing happen recently where I'm pretty much having the same thing. I have to kill the old version of myself to step into the new one that's going to come. Since Aboga and things like that, I realized things that I don't want to keep repeating. So I have to kill the old me to step into the new one. That's happened to me many times in my life. I made an ex post about it. But yeah, that's the lesson on faith. Like faith, that's true. Those things are very real. That's another universal law, I would say. But yeah, so you have to, everyone wants it up front. Like we always want to be half in something and half in another. Like we always want a girl that we don't want to lose what we had, even though if it's not great. And then, but we also want to like monkey branch onto the next thing, which is quite feminine. Like women usually do that. You don't want to leave your job, even if the career hasn't the kind of like it's a dead end, because you think like it's okay. I don't want to take such a big risk, but then you feel something like in your heart is there, like pulling on you. It's like it's like a little thing, like pulling and being like, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me, like we're gonna make it if we do this. But you're like, it can't happen. Just the same thing for me. Like I had my heart telling me to take the leap, and my brain is like, you're not gonna fucking make it if you do that. Like you're gonna lose what you have. And then I listened to my heart and jumped, and this is my life now. I fucking do anything that I want. I have mostly everything that I'd ever wanted. Before that, I didn't really have. Had a lot of fucking bad history from prison. Had a head full of bad memories, and that's the that's the nature of life. So you have to trust yourself in that regard. You have to trust your gut. Everything comes to you when you burn down the old you. That's true. That's fucking as true can be. A lot of people want to change, but they don't want to like get rid of the old self, so to speak. They don't not happy where they're at, but they don't want to change their behaviors. They don't want to change their friendship circle, as I had to. I was out of prison, I had to change my circle. When I go to the army, I had to change my circle. When I go to the army hospital, I had to change my circle. I've died more times than probably anyone, I would say, in that sort of regard. I've been everything. I've been so many different people in one lifetime, but it's been like moving down a vacuum, so to speak, to the person that I am today. And I feel like I'm moving into the next person. That's true. Person with much more, I don't know, like more like focused on morals and integrity and things like that. More of a teacher, more of the change that I want to see in the world. Not someone who can stand here and tell you not to do shit if they're also doing the same shit. I get a lot of satisfaction from being the person that I myself wanted when I was young, because I didn't really have anyone that was guiding me. A lot of the shit that I learnt myself. And often I learnt from like pretty tragic failures. I mean, there's many documented online. But yeah, I wish that I kind of had that. But at the same time, I don't, because I don't wish that I would change anything. But now I get a lot of satisfaction from people come to me and have questions, and they have this and they have that, because I'm that guy that I wanted. And now I've kind of like, in my own way, like closed that karmic loop, so to speak. Like the loop was open because I didn't know shit, but I'm kind of closing it because I can teach guys and I see that it changes their lives and things like that. I see that it helps people. See, people don't know I actually do help a lot of people. Help a lot of people with not just on here, in life. That's the nature of the thing. Helping the deserving is very satisfying, and not helping them for like gain for yourself. It's very satisfying. I learned what I don't want to be around. I don't want to be around people if they don't. My like morals don't align with where I'm. I don't want to be. I know that you are what you're around. Like it's like like I say, the brain is a multiplier. If you're around people who have crappy morals, your morals are going to be crappy, and you're also going to get more people like that. Like it's the truth of the matter. If you're around it, you tolerate it, you make it real in your life, and it multiplies. That's true. If you're around girls that are trash, you're going to be around a lot of girls that are trash. If you eliminate the trash, even if you're alone, now you can start to curate your reality. You can start to write down what it is that you want. You can start to write down your perfect girl or your perfect lifestyle or what you want out of life. See, people don't write, and writing is kind of everything. Like writing is make it physical in the world. Like, what do you want to be? What do you want to change about yourself? Who do you want to become? What are your goals? Our goals are going to be different. What's your vision? What are your plans? Like, what gets you excited? Like, where is the spark? Do you have any like spark? Like emotion is everything. Like what has an emotional attachment to it is the most important. That's it. Listening to your heart and your gut is more important. The saying of Einstein, right? Like logic will take you from A to B, imagination will take you everywhere. That's fucking real. That's why I know so much shit. My imagination is very massive. It's true. I know a lot of stuff. I mean, I can only imagine why, but I know a lot of things. I've had a few near death experiences, and ever since every experience, I've just come back and I just know things that I just don't really have an explanation for how I know it before it happens, or things that I know that others don't. You know, our BCI mining idea, like others, they can't even fathom that. People will be used for computational power in the future. They can't fathom such ideas. But yeah, that's the AI company that I'm working on. You know, when it's $100 million company in the next 10 years, we'll talk. I think it'll be more than that. I think it'll be less time, probably 7 or 8 years. But yeah, lads, so that's the ideas and concepts for today. And yeah, just keep working and doing what you do and ride this crypto bull. Don't panic. There's plenty of time. I think there's going to be a lengthened cycle. We're in a super cycle. We're in an industrial revolution, similar to the railroads. I've got a tech, AI, and crypto super cycle. Like I've said all along, don't panic. I told you guys at 80K, the selling was over, or 102K. You got to listen to me. If you listen to anyone else, run it through me first. I'm not telling you I know where all of the shit coins and everything. I don't watch every altcoin, but no one knows the macro like me because no one knows the future like me. Till next time.